Hello and a warm welcome, everybody. This is Arunava Chaudhuri, and I'm back with. It's the day after India lost to Afghanistan. A tough one to take for me personally, at least. I feel very, very disappointed with not only with the result but the way we lost. We didn't play, so to say, in my opinion, and yeah, it's difficult to comprehend, that I don't know. It's how could we play in the way we lose the way we did, and it's very disappointing to say the least. It is disgraceful in my opinion, the way we lost the game and the way we were unable to challenge a depleted Afghanistan. Um, yeah, just play basic football. Just do the basics right. Don't make it too overcomplicated. And that to me was my biggest concern, or is my biggest concern, if I look at everything the way we played. And to me, just I don't know. I don't know what you guys feel, and let me know your thoughts about it. But I'm very, very disappointed with what I saw, and therefore I asked the question, which is sort of to this: does the Indian football team need a revamp? Let me have your thoughts. What you guys think? What you guys feel? What could happen? What should happen? When should it happen? Also, should it happen in the months? And to me is or should we wait? Because you see, even me, I'm looking. I'm words to say. Sanjay Biswas, good evening, is asking Arunava and any inside news if AIFF discussing last night's game. Yeah, the AIFF is discussing last night's game, but are they going to take a call? Are they going to take a decision? I think that's the real question in all of this that we are talking about, because the last two matches were, to me at least, unacceptable. The Asian Cup was bad, but this was terrible to pathetic. And the question now is, what are the changes do we need? And to go back to Sanjeev's question, at the moment, from what I know, is there is nothing happening within the AIFF, that there is no attempt to try and change things, because the federation themselves are not in a structure, in a form where the federation can, it seems, take a call on things. And that's what is worrying me. That's what's disturbing me in all of this that's happening or happened over the last few days and weeks, is that are we ready to take hard calls, to take action, to take tough calls, which would decide on what we're doing in the future. And that does worry me, because I feel it's it's very difficult. And Naresh asking, what excuses did Igor come up with after yesterday's match? Well, to me, I saw the post-match press conference, and first of all, he was aware that this team did anything wrong. He said, we had chances, we did this, we did that. We worked on things, and we've been trying, and we've been working on what we need to, what we want to do. And first threw his substitutes under the bus, because he said, listen, the substitutes didn't bring anything. He tried to say as always, we didn't have a camp, the Afghans had a camp, this, that, and everything, which is factually also not true. It's very, very interesting, which has been going on. It's actually a lie. The Afghans were not in a camp for 2 months. They came together as everybody else. Whoever was available earlier came earlier, and the others who were playing club football came on later. No, there wasn't the 2-month camp in ABBA happening. And that was explained very, very clearly by Ashley Westwood, the Afghanistan coach. And to me, those things were very, very clear. That it's the coach has been deflecting. That the system, the players are not fit, they don't have the fitness, blah blah blah. And it is. Why not stand up, man up, and just say, listen, guys, you know what? We were today not good enough. We didn't play good football. We lost against an opponent who deserved to win. Just say that. I at least I would be happy, because that is what happened on that field. Afghanistan, for the second time in 2 matches, deserved to beat India. Before these games, my hope and my wish were to get 6 points, to put pressure on Kuwait. What I also had said is, I don't think we're going to get 6 points. I don't know what I thought, how many points I could or we would get. So therefore, for me, it was very, very evident that, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen that it's Afghanistan. And that we were, I said, okay, let's at least get 4, but, I said I wanted a win, and I hoped for, at least a draw, but somehow or the other yesterday, during the day, I felt we were going to lose. You have sometimes reason of good, and it was confirmed. So the first thing, if I ask the question of, does the Indian football team need a revamp? And let me know, guys, whoever is watching, as always, like and share these videos and subscribe to Arun Foot here on YouTube and on other social medias as well. If we want a revamp, the most important thing regarding a revamp is that we need a change of coach. And we need that change of coach not today, not tomorrow, not next week. We needed it way back. Sorry to say that. We needed it way back, even when we were still very, very clearly, even when we were winning the SAF Cup, or even the year before when we won and qualified for the Asian Cup. We are not going to progress under this coach. That was my honest feeling at the time, that Igor Stimac is not going to take us forward. And if you see, he's been banking on the same set of players. A few players here, he's dropped a few players there, he's picked up a few players here, picked up a few players there. It is, for me, very, very difficult that we are in the situation we are in, willing to take a call and get rid of the coach. Why? Why was his contract extended in the way it was? He said, listen, if you don't extend it to this and this point, I will go. And then leave. There are enough who would like to pick up the India job. Right? So therefore, to me, that was a mistake. And to me, it is still a mistake, right? Swaroop is saying Stephen Constantine should be back to India. Well, that's another question, is, do we want to bring Stephen back? Find the right coach for the team to take us forward. That, I think, is the challenge for Indian football. Can we find the right coach for Indian football to take the Indian national team forward? Because this cycle has been so negative and has been so destructive, I feel, that we've not made any headway. We have gone backwards. If our aim was always to win the SAF Cup and win the Intercontinental Cup or a Tri-Nation tournament, or going to the King's Cup or Merdeka Cup or whatever, for me, the most important competitions are whatever is in your cycles, the qualifiers, the joint qualifiers for a FIFA World Cup and for an AFC Asian Cup. If you get into the Asian Cup, to play the Asian Cup, right? And before I continue, Amal is asking any update on Igor sack. At the moment, there's no information about any sacking. It doesn't look like the AIFF will take any action. That's sadly what I know at the moment. That's sort of the reality where it stands. So no action to be taken at the moment. That's that's where we are on this day today. That Igor Stimac is potentially continuing, at least for now, it's continuing as the head coach of the Indian football team. And that's the concern, right? That we need to find solutions, need to find of how we are gonna improve. Because I did a long tweet today about what are my concerns. Again, Igor Stimac certainly starts off. The lack of basics is what I found with this team in the last few months, last year. So to me is that there are problems through the system. The stakeholders have to take note of that and have to try and improve those things, right? So that's something which I feel is something which we need to do. And why did AIFF still there? They want to humiliate Indian football more. Amal, it's a question that sadly no one can ask the AIFF because the AIFF is not going to answer these questions. I think that's the biggest concern at the moment, that we're unable to get to where we need to have these conversations, to try and find solutions to improve Indian football for the long term and for the future. The AIFF has been in a mess for the last 18 months since the new regime has taken. Said, A, tried to do B and then did C, and actually didn't even do C but did D. And that is my concern, that you can't take the word seriously of these people anymore. I can't take Stimac seriously. And how can you take the people seriously? I mean, that's a huge concern in my opinion, right? And Amal, I agree. Vietnam fired their coach after the loss. Yes, they fired Philippe Troussier yesterday after losing once more to Indonesia. Again, but the Vietnam FA is a different FA than the AIFF. These are realities which we are in at the moment, which are difficulties for us, which we have to work around, and hopefully things are gonna happen in a way that we can change things. And to me is, where do we stand and what do we do? That's my biggest concern. That what happens, and also when I talk about a revamp of the Indian football team, maybe some of the senior players need to step aside. It starts with Sunil, continues most probably with Gurpreet, with players like Sandesh, Rahul Beke and others. Let the younger ones try, and take the Germany example as a good example at the moment. Toni Kroos retired 3 years ago at the Euros, after the Euros, and now the team is good, and therefore they have gotten Toni Kroos back, and Toni Kroos is doing better than ever before in a Germany shirt. So therefore, maybe a restart, a revamp. That's what is needed for the AIFF, for Indian football, and then we can hopefully find solutions. So therefore, to me, that's I think the most important thing. I think we need a restart at multiple levels, and also people need to do what is needed to try and change things. I'm not asking any update on your election in AIFF. Be on the on the 5th of April, if I'm right, next week, Friday, there will be a hearing in the Supreme Court. So let's see what they do, because that's another danger. If the Supreme Court once again gets involved, we could once more get banned. So where we stand, and let's see where it goes. Naresh observes a few sponsors who are still sponsoring will also pull their hands back from next year. Um, well, have uh, any sponsors per se left? Who's there to pull out of AIFF, ISL? Were there any sponsors for I-League or IWL? To me, that is the concern, So therefore, that's yeah, I really don't know. It's and that's the thing. Amal saying next qualifiers we need a proper centre back, Sana and other defenders. Agree. Still don't know why Sana is not there. That's one of those weird ones which I haven't understood why the coach has not called him up. But it's the coach's decision, and he has to bear now the brunt of that so-called mistake. Stephen's leadership improved for 196 ranking after Igor took charge. We're going back again to prevent further decline. Important that Igor be sacked. We were in the 170s. We were not 196, so that's the first. And even though we were 96 in the rankings, we were not playing like a 96 team. So I have always said at the moment, to me, is we were always, in my opinion, around 120, 125. After yesterday's loss, maybe we were even worse. That's a concern, I would say, that we have. Arnav says 0 wins and 5 defeats in last 6 matches. Is coach Igor Stimac getting the nothing happening at the moment. So Arnav, that's the sad reality, that Igor Stimac is at the moment still the coach, and let's see what happens then. Orijit asking, there's a president, how much is that true? At the moment, it depends, I guess, what the Supreme Court decides, if it wants to install a new constitution. And with the new constitution, of course, it would mean that this current AIFF, which has said that we are the AIFF, would be declared as an interim body, and they would have to then organize elections. So that will be an interesting one to see that happens. And someone's asking, Sandesh Jungan will available in June. No, Sandesh has an ACL injury, so from my understanding, Sandesh will not be available in June. So therefore, that's the thing. So therefore, let's see what happens. 1 second. Orijit asking, why is there no Sohail Bhatt, Sanan, Amar Ranawade, Imran, Vivian in the team? We are playing like amateurs. When Stimac is going to resign? Orijit, all the names you've mentioned, that is not even an ISL player, regular ISL player. Amai, Imran, Vivian are. But to me, all 3 of them are not first 11 India players. That's also reality to me. That a lot of people are calling for players who I at least feel are not ready for top, because they are not mature enough to play. So for me, that is a huge problem, that there is this assumptions that we have a second, a third line ready, which can walk in and then, do better. We don't. We have a quality problem in Indian football. Look at the 50, 60 players who put 50, 60 players, I would say. Take five here, put in, take out, whatever. I would say Sana Singh is one of those where I say he should be there. I don't know what the problem is. Here's what supposedly the problem is. Putea was the other one where I say I would like to see him in an India jersey, because I think he deserves for what the performances he's putting in for the last few years. But otherwise, PCD, I don't think there's a difference in level. And that's the question. Do the seniors retire? Do the younger ones take over? But will we then suffer even more because this team will then not be ready? Because the biggest problem I felt yesterday was, and correct me if I felt that India lacked leadership on the field. The Afghans, to me, had multiple players who were showing leadership. And to me, that's an interesting one, that we have, despite having a Sunil up front, despite having Gurpreet, we are lacking leadership on the field. And that's something which is scary, because the coach has not worked on a second line, on players who can come in and change things, and that's difficult. It's a challenge. It's a huge challenge for the AIFF. And to me, it's again, it's a player here, player there. Amal is saying London Puya. Again, it's London Puya, it's Amal Ranawade, it's whoever. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. Jyotiswaro asking on also, is your much out of criticizing athlete? The fans have every right to it. To me, Indian football fans have every right to criticize the coach and the federation, even the players. It happens anywhere in the world. As long as again, there have been some racist things online on racist things against some players, which I think was not right. But otherwise, I think the fans have the right to criticize a coach and yeah, that's a fact. Amal, you're saying on Laldin Puya, he's consistent for the last 3 years. My counter question to you would be, Amal, do you think he's a international level player, or could be a long-term international player? This is something that we have to be honest to ourselves. Who we're calling up. Agree with your point of view, but even if they're not mature enough, but I think they have good quality, I think new players should take first seat. At least they have a chance to do better than current ones. I don't agree on that, because I think the next generation, they have to prove that they are football-wise better than I was told that these players who are playing now, who again, some of them I've seen in the under-17 World Cup squad. I thought they were better at 15, 16 when I used to see them here in Germany. Yeah, so that's something which is and therefore I don't see these players to be ready for international. That's why the under-23s is good. I think the under-23s is a good level. And we need to also understand one thing. Bob Houghton used to tell me one thing again and again. He said, listen, a player who does well in the Indian football circuit, prove to me that he's capable of playing at international level, or I have to take a call on that. And I totally agree on that on Bob. Someone who might be the best player in the ISL, if he's not able to cope with the physicality of international duty, he should not be playing international football. And I agree with on that. So that's something that's been sort of that where I stick to that. Now the time has come to give duties to Indian coaches. I totally disagree. I think we should get the right foreign coach to come in. At least the times that no, it wasn't good with Indian coaches, except maybe over 2 decades back with Suki Paji. In your opinion, what should be our next first 11 players for June? Again, June is so far away. I don't even want to discuss who should be in that team. We will have injuries. We'll have this. We'll have that. It's now in the 3rd, 4th week of March. It's, I think, a little difficult to talk about the team for June. I would wait for that because I think we'll have that's something. Mayank saying Jigson was very bad yesterday. Yeah. Again, Jigson is an example of someone which I said or have been saying for the last few weeks. He's coming back from a serious injury. He's not fit. To me, he's not match fit to play can play. if Jackson is at the top of his game. He's not. He doesn't have the fitness to do what he needs to do to be able to be that defensive block. To create what is needed to take forward. I think that's my assumption that I make here. Arunava said, U23 has got a fighting spirit. I hope so. Again, I've not seen them. I'm just seeing the results. And yeah, that's a fact. Amal adding, Manveer was also bad. 8 to 10 years, same thing is going to happen. I hope not. But for that to change, we need change at grassroots and youth level. To me, we need to be better. Our coaching needs to be better because, again, we see the end product now. Some of these players are lacking the basic thing you need to have if you want to play football. Biggest concern. I didn't see it with Afghanistan. Forget the 3 nations I didn't see it with Malaysia. I didn't see it with Iraq. I didn't see it with Kuwait or Lebanon. Even to some extent, the Pakistan boys who lost 4-0 to us because they came and landed and played. That is my biggest concern, that our Indian players are struggling with the football basics. Das, do you have faith in Igor Stimac? No, I've lost my faith long time ago. It's not yesterday. I've lost my faith most probably around 2022 in the coach, or 2021 even, because I felt he was good initially. I was there in Guwahati in 2019 when we lost 2-1 against Oman. There was an idea. There was nice set up goal. Brandon corner, Sunil goal. But we were not good enough. After 70 minutes, we were tired. And then we drew Qatar away. Great fighting match. Thereafter, Afghanistan and then especially Bangladesh was the start of the downfall. And to me, they've never recovered. So therefore, Steamer should have been long gone, if you ask me. What's your honest take on a chance of progressing to the next round? I don't know what our chances are, to be honest. I am as confused as anybody else. At the moment, if we play anything like we played yesterday, no. And if we play anywhere like yesterday, we do not deserve to go to round 3. Let's be honest about that. We do not deserve to go to round 3. One of the best 18 teams in Asia. That is my biggest concern at the moment. If I look at the whole team, if I look at the whole getup, we are, it's too much which is there. Mayank asking if he will be with Adidas till 2026, and then in 2027 Nike will take over. So there's another cycle for Nike. The problem, he needs to fit the right fit player. Yeah, that's it. I mean, the coach needs to play the players who are. We are not doing what is needed, and has just too many things which are lacking, and that's that. Shayan saying, why are we making robots can run and run? Afghanistan winners are so example for Venkatesh, even Raldindika Ralte, so technically good. Shayan, as you're mentioning Raldindika Ralte, tell you a nice anecdote from the first season of the ISL. I was in Mumbai City, and I was the one who Dika on the draft, and Dika was, there's no one close or near technically to him. Lovely footballer, and if you say to me, it's a problem, because yes, we've taken care of nutrition, we've taken care of our fitness, but our players at youth level, at grassroots level, they are not long enough. Even the senior players are not long enough on the field. They're spending too much. My opinion, Indian footballers spend too much time rather than spending an hour in the gym. I would rather say spend an hour on the field, and even 2 extra on the field, play football. Because it seems to be you're not playing enough football. On the other side, you realize a lot of players are tired because the ISL season expanding, teams, continental requirements to play Champions League, AFC Cup, so many international matches. We have to work out our calendar. That's another big problem I feel we have. One thing I agree with Simach is that players are very overpaid in ISL. Well, it's not. Indian players are the most overpaid players in the world. And I'm not saying this since the start of the ISL. I said it even in the NFL and I-League days. For the standard of football, even in those days, multi-lakh contracts towards the end of the crore, not multi-crore, but 1 crore plus contracts. The players are not worth it. That's my honest opinion. And that's one of the reasons that I say, try and go abroad, but they're so overpaid that will not happen. Arijit saying, should Jay Gupta given its chance, even though exactly my point. Fans should have their say, opinion. Everybody can have an opinion. But I totally agree with Manolo on this, that Jay Gupta to me is not ready for the national team. Whatever the fans are shouting, Parthiv Gogoi not ready for the national team. This is part of the problem, that we need a reality check. To me, that there are players who are playing well or good. Fans say XYZ player, doesn't matter. But the coach then has to decide who fits, first of all, in the system and who he thinks is ready for international football. It's a difficult one. It's a very difficult one. Arunava says it's better not to go to round 3. We'll be absolutely humiliated. Exactly. I think it's better for us, for us not to go to the 3rd round. Anirudh asking, sir, who do you think can replace Timach as a head coach? I said that in the last few days. If you ask me, I would go for a coach who is not working in the ISL or has worked in the ISL. I would go for a fresh face. To me, that's something which I would like to see. If we can get a coach with the proper people to come in and change things, I think that for me would be the perfect coach. If we get someone with that pedigree, I don't know. I would have said who could I name? Maybe someone, again, not within our budget, but if it was possible, let's say a Carlos Queiroz. Troussier yesterday was fired, even though I think Philippe Troussier, with the whole structural ideas and approaches that he could bring in, would help Indian football a lot. I forgot the South Korean guy's name again. I always forget them. I think who's worked in Southeast Asia. So therefore, I think there's. Thanks, Mayank, Senator, sir, for supporting Info so long. I will always support it, and even today, that it doesn't matter today or tomorrow. I will support Indian football. For me, it's not, turning your back on Indian football is not the right thing. We all need to make our voices heard in different areas, different fields, and let people know that changes are needed. And that's my hope, that we, it's something which is good. Chennai FC player signed for foreign club. Your thoughts? Yeah, he's gone to Uruguay. Bijay, wish him all the best, and I hope he can make a difference. So let's see what happens. What do you think? I don't know. To me, he should be sacked, but the AIFF still hasn't done it. So therefore, that's a big problem. So as long as that doesn't happen, it's for the it's for the federation to decide. And as I said, he should have been gone a long while back. And I stick to that point that the coach needs to be changed, and not yesterday, but quite a while back. Did you saw? Chris says Lebanon first match against Australia, the way they were playing counter-attacking, the class, the chances they created were really promising, could have been easily capitalized on. No, I didn't see that game, but I saw Lebanon in the Asian Cup. So again, it's some of these teams are of a different level, so therefore, that's always a fact. Football Heart says we need serious think tank for the AIFF. Indian football is lacking ideas. Just need to find ways to utilize them at their full potential. Surely we have talent. But the question is, what is the talent development and what is the pathway of talent development? So to me, we need to work on a number of things. Again, we need to work at the top level, but we also need to work in the mid-level and lower levels in regard to the pyramid, and create what is needed to the next level. For national team, as I said, I wouldn't bring in an ISL coach. I would rather look at someone who is not attached into this whole system and is someone who is sort of out of this system with international experience. So what's the difference between head coach and well, a head coach is mainly focused on coaching the team. A manager is a little, depending on where you define what is manager. Once is, in European sense, a sporting manager, someone who runs sort of the club. He can be, you can also while a manager in the UK, of course, means that you are actually de facto the head coach, but you're overlooking the football as well. So you've got a much bigger role in that. Shine is asking, do you think players are not giving 100% for India? They're saving it for ISL title decider. I'm sure in June these players will give 100%. It's a bit controversial, but I felt it. I don't think that they are leaving it to the ISL, but I have a feeling that maybe subconsciously certain players are not doing everything that they can. Yeah, I would agree. So let's see what let's see what happened and where we go. And Nandan saying, Nandan Datta saying, Sunil Beke, Gopal Singh Sandhu lobby is ruining senior team performance. Their main responsible revolt against Stephen. Again, so that's something that we'll have to. South Korean guy's former Vietnam coach. Yes. I was talking about him. Again, who revolted against whom and whatever against, we'll have to see what happens. Arijit is saying, but the real beauty is India's defeat and Kuwait losing has made this group the most exciting. The rest of the groups are sorted, except Group D. Group D is even with 3 teams are still fighting it out for the top 2 positions. And therefore, yeah, it's the situation. Kinan, thanks a lot for the heart. As always, thank you. Mark saying we are second in the group, so still there is a chance. Again, therefore, everything is still to play for in this group. It's insane. It's insane. Afghanistan, India, Kuwait can still be stuck in the same point, even on same goal difference. I don't think so, right? I mean, Afghanistan is so it looks difficult to me. To me is I think we can't, but yeah, our basics is very poor. Yeah. I mean, Mayank, thanks a lot for the 40 rupees. Win or lose, we'll support till I die. Exactly, man. This is something which I can only say to everybody who's watching. To me, the most important thing is, as fans of Indian football, Indian national team, a club side, winning or losing, you should always support your team. If you have a disagreement, you should highlight it. That's why I said the protest yesterday needs to happen. The players, the coach needs to know. I mean, I saw the video of the press conference, and you realize that the coach is realizing that the people outside are shouting "Stay much out." He realized that at some stage, and he said certain things in the end, which was again PR in trying to defend his position. You know, I'm not going to support, but that's what he did, and that's what he's been doing all this while. So the challenge here is for all of us. I've heard it from too many people today, or read it since yesterday from a lot. I will no longer support Indian football. Guys, now more than ever, you all who are listening to this or watching this later on, we all need to support Indian football. To me, very, very important. It makes only support a team when it's successful. And I wrote it last night. I've had more bad moments than good moments with India and Indian football. That's a fact. That's a reality. It's a brutal reality, right? And everyone should make their voice heard. With a lot of things, with you guys, I will not agree with everything that you're going to say. Maybe I know a little bit more, or you know a little bit more, and someone is better informed. But we need to be challenging the people, be it the head coach, be it the players, be it the AIFF, and asking questions, asking hard questions, tough questions. That's Uday says neither AIFF's like ego or no ego leave India. Well, that's the reality. That's the reality at the moment of things, and that's the most disturbing one, I think, of all. What's happening at the moment. Anuj saying, sir, if you're made head coach of a national league, what would your first step? A first step is to figure out who is in the right frame of mind to play for the Indian team at the moment. Who is generally strong enough to play for us at the moment. To me, those two things are simple things, basic things. But I look at the mental framework of the players. And meet all the ISL club coaches. Interact with them and say, hey, listen, what are the strengths and weaknesses of your players? And I would then also say, watch as many matches as possible. I don't know when, how he did, but he was there rather for a conference and then he had to watch a few games. But otherwise, this is to me is a very important fact. Those were the steps that I would take if I was asked. Arjun asking, isn't India taking part in FIFA events? Sri Lanka, Vanuatu, Egypt, New Zealand are all taking part. It could help India. Well, the problems which are being tried out or were tried out over the last few days. Sorry, I just need to have a sip of water. 1 second. Sorry. The FIFA started a new global series of international friendlies. We're playing any kind of qualifiers, and normally are sort of on the margins. You had Bulgaria playing. I mean, the highest profile team most probably was Croatia. You had Egypt in there, as mentioned. Tunisia was playing as well. Sri Lanka, Bhutan. But whenever we have so that's something which is interesting. Shan saying players and coaches should feel the heat so better they would be ready in Kolkata in June. They will surely feel the heat if anything goes wrong. There are interesting discussions happening to me, right? That I would not call for a boycott. I know other people are talking about it. I would uh, uh, I would be present. I've seen this with German clubs that fans are there, and then they say, listen, for the first 10 minutes, 12, we are quiet. Make your protest known. But by not coming, there might be other people who are coming in, and then the stadium is full. We need genuine football fans to turn up that day and to make their protest known. If by then, by not going, I feel that's to me, that's the wrong sign. Is Ishan Pandita good enough to be in national team? Ishan needs to play. As with every other player, Ishan needs to play. If he's not playing, very, very difficult. That's why also the coaches. Arijit asking, also, why can't I-League players be looked into for A-League like we do in cricket? A teams like we do in cricket. I think the I-League players are not good enough. That's the reality. Do you think you could walk in and play against an Afghanistan side like yesterday? I think to me it's a huge problem. I-League players at the moment, if they're standout players and they go to the ISL, nothing happening. Sharhad is saying, if the technical skills of players are not up to the mark, what magic can a long camp do? Nothing. Long camps, he's trying to find reasons to deflect. Nothing more, nothing less. And if I have a plan, then I can do something. But where is the plan? Even when we were winning, tell me if we had a plan. Very often we were trying to get the ball somehow forward and Sunil would score. That possession football, that game plan, I've not seen it. So don't be fooled by the coach saying, we've done whatever. That is one thing. Yes, TSG, we've spoken about it. Vijay Chhetri becomes the first team footballer signed for Latin American club after joining Colón FC. He's not the first, he's the second, because Romeo Fernandes in early 2015 had permanence in Brazil. So he's the second player, Indian player to go there. And again, you've said that again. That's why I'm just highlighting that fact. So Vijay, I hope he works out. Knows his agent quite well. So hopefully it works out for him and it's a successful project. If the coach can't be changed, is it possible to rest him or give some other responsibility next to World Cup qualifier? New facts, very interesting ideas. He's also not been picking up that many yellow cards recently, right? He did that last year quite regularly at the SAF Cup and got suspended a few times, but no, he hasn't. So for that's the other thing. So therefore, that's something. So honestly, saying football is not our cup of tea, I would never say that. I think we have the potential here. We have, again, if we do the right things, we can be counted on. But we need to do the right thing. So that's my doing the right things, which are needed for us to be able to play at a higher level. So that's something, that's where we're lacking. I think our basics are a problem. Any news, inside news regarding last night match, discussed in AIFF committee and coach sacking? Nothing at the moment. No. Surat says there should be accountability. At least they should feel regret, as we fans are very disheartened. No one has made any comments yet. Well, that's part of the problems. There is a feeling, I get angry when I now watch the press conferences of the coach, because he doesn't want to really say what the problems are and stands to it's sugarcoating to me. Oh, we had chances here, we had chances there, but again, we didn't play that well, right? So for me, and be the so to me is always a different thing. The players, I give them 1 or 2 days. Maybe some of the players might, or the one or the player might do a social post. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like a Gurpreet does, but others, yeah. Federation, again, the president has not said anything even after a dismal AFC Asian Cup. So, yeah, it's a big problem. Kumar, hi Arunava, what is the constitution? Still, Kumar, nothing has happened. There is nothing, no discussions at the moment happening, and again, that's the reality. Boycott India match if you need to change. No, I don't think so. Again, I feel if you boycott games, if you don't turn up, you're not going there. Someone else, someone or the other will go there. If you or other people don't turn up, is protesting by not turning up or not saying anything is wrong. I would rather run an asserted, clear-cut campaign these teams on regular basis. That's why I'm doing this live, to interact with you guys, to have more video content to show to people. I said, listen, people are interested. That's why share, like hopefully my channel and subscribe to it as well. That we get this word out, that there are people who care about this. We need more people. We need hundreds of conversations who are part of these conversations when we're talking. So therefore, do spread the word, do share. Especially last night's videos, it's had over 1,000 views, but that's still not enough. And to me, it makes no sense. And I just take Naresh's first only one game boycott. You're not going, and then most probably they're losing, and you're not bothered after that anyway. So therefore, it needs to be there needs to be some other way of protesting. I think boycott, to me, boycott is not the right way. I was asking, sir, what do you think about divisions in league system? How many divisions do you are ideal in a league system? Winning World Cups, they have so many divisions. It's not about the divisions. It's about finding the right structure. Again, what they have in England is different to what we have in Germany. That is different to what they have in Spain. And that is different to what they have in Italy. So you have to find, to me, we need to find a proper pyramid structure. The ISL is on top. You've got the I League below and the I League 2. I League 3 most probably needs to be restructured in a different way, in my opinion. And then bam, first round, second round, and then you are in the I League 2. Regional leagues, and then again, I take Kolkata as a prime example. The Calcutta Football League runs for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months max. It should be running 10 months. And I know I've spoken to people in the run the whole year. They said, oh, we're spending too much. Because even at that level, you will say, okay, the players are not earning enough. But on the other side, listen, the clubs don't have the money. We need to find ways of trying to make Indian football sustainable. That's the most important thing. That then the money that you put down to the lower end of the system, to the smaller clubs, that's the most important thing. That is not happening. That is our challenge at the moment where we are. That whatever comes in the ISL, that goes down to the grassroots clubs, to the grassroots, are able to sustain and then create the players that hopefully then would work through the system, that the clubs themselves build their academies to work through the system. Should we start focusing on getting into FIFA under 17 or men rather than senior men's teams? Renil, I don't think so. I think you can do both. I think you should do both, in my opinion. I think to me, I've helped when the whole under 17 World Cup thing preparations happened. Through the German affair, we got Nicola Adam as a coach. Preparation camps here in Germany, did a lot of things here and there, and yeah, whatever reasons he had to leave, and then we didn't play the way I thought we could have done something. So therefore, our focus needs to be on all levels of the game. We cannot focus on these things, right? So we need that. We need that thing, that it's not only at the lowest level or at the top level. That we need to do and therefore need to do stuff. We need to do stuff and build it, and otherwise it will not happen. It will not happen. To me, that's something that's here. Shomo are saying all journalists should write a joint letter to Sports Ministry about this pathetic situation of Indian football. Indian football. And yeah, if they would listen, great. But would the journalists do that together? First of all, there are certain journalists who are supporting the court, certain journalists supporting the federation, and certain journalists who are against both. So to me, and again, we have got elections coming. Is the failures of Indian football to the sports ministry as important as it is to all of us? First question. Indian football is here in our hearts. Here, it's here. Is it in the hearts of the ministry? Then the ministry would have made a lot of more money available. They're cutting our grants. They're not giving more money. Anirudh, is EPL best league in the world? Again, can be debated. A lot of people will say the EPL is the best. Certain people will say La Liga in Spain is the best. Again, I'm born and brought up here in Germany. For me, good league that I would like to watch. So that's why, yeah, that's my take on things. Abhi says, too much to Boria 2 weeks ago, said Afghanistan games are not crucial if it's just for confidence and improved rankings to be ready for June. No wonder entire team was lethargic, no intent. To just say this, if I in any way was in the coach, they said, you need 6 points from these 2 games. If you want to qualify for round 3, then it's a problem. Because if you had gotten 6 points from these 2 games, you would have had the advantage of just against Kuwait. And Afghanistan would be totally out of the picture. With 10 points, I'm sure we would have gone through. Now, India's on 4, Afghanistan is on 4, and Kuwait is on 3 points. We need to win now to ensure that we qualify for them. But even though, again, it's just, yeah, that's the thing. Prithviraj, were clubs doing the NFL and pre-NFL era making money? I think I-League somehow was more sustainable for majority. No, I think that the problem that has happened is that club football in India has never been sustainable. How? Because there are no TV rights. There are no TV rights. So therefore, sustainability does not come in. In the NFL, for the late 90s, early 2000s, they were making their losses and they were fine. We had corporates like Mahindra who were there. JCT was successful. The Goan clubs in Sagaukar, Dempo, Churchill, of course, was there. So they were making their losses, and they're still making their losses. And the problem has been that if you were making, let's say, 5 to 7 crores losses at the time, and then maybe in I-League times it grew to about 12 to 15. Now you're making 25, 30, maybe 40 crore losses, and still people are investing. I always say the owners of these big clubs should be saluted for spending the money on Indian football with no returns. That is the reality of things, as much as criticism as the ISL gets. The level of football in the United States, which also has multiple sports, more followed and seen rather than football, but they've grown exponentially in football. Orithro, yes, but never forget that even in the late 90s, women's football and youth football already then in the 90s, was the biggest sport. And if you see now, they've had in the 70s and 80s, they had the NASL. You had Pele, Beckenbauer, George Best, all these guys playing in that league. The MLS started after the 94 World Cup. They've built it slowly, did their mistakes, did some restructuring. And now you've got the Messis. I mean, it started with Beckham in 2007, and now you've got Messi in there. Things are growing. Things are growing in the right direction. So therefore, that's the important thing with the league. that what is happening, what is not happening, right? So this is for me, yes, there are a lot of things to learn from America, but America also has another strong point, which is different to any other country in the world. They have a very strong school and college sports system, which feeds, besides the clubs, feeds into these sports. Not only team sports, but individual sports as well. So that we need to look at how school sports can be linked to club sports, and colleges and all that stuff. We need to work on those structures. The structures don't exist. And lastly, are Baga and Bengaluru really going to hit break even in football financially? I don't know. I honestly, if they would try and change things or continue with things at the moment, it doesn't look like that Mr. Goenka or JSW Group or City Football Group at Mumbai City and all the others are going to reduce budgets, but let's hope so it doesn't. एक बात आकाश नहीं आता सर कि इगोर अफगानिस्तान किसी टीम के लिए कैसे 30-day camp मांग सकता है, just pathetic, sack him immediately, if not then our future is doomed. Agree with you. Big agreement from my side, big thumbs up, because it's not a question of a camp. These players were in good form, in good performances in the ISL, and they come here and they totally collapse, and that to me is the biggest concern, that we are talking about it again. Afghanistan didn't have camps. There are players in the Afghanistan team. Ashley Westwood said 4 players are currently playing who do not have a club side. So they were actually training by themselves. They're not even training with a team, some of them. So that's the problem. Surat saying, should we as fans should tag sports minister, prime minister for the interference? Maybe they can help and remove coach and president. Please do. So to me, very, very clear. Tag the sports minister, tag the prime minister, tag important people who could be of influence, and tag me if you want to. Tag other people of influence who could maybe try and change something. But my request to you all is, as always, don't stop supporting Indian football. Don't stop supporting Indian football team. If we want change, we'll have to work on it. It will not happen without all of us trying to do something. Rancho Roshan, always welcome. Thank you guys for, as always, following me, supporting me. Follow me on my social medias. Follow this channel, please. That's my only request to you guys. That we grow the community and that we reach more people, and with our conversations. Ritik asked the question of the day. I don't know. And Vijay Chetri, yes, assigned for a second-tier Uruguay club on loan from Chennai. Yes, good thing for him. I hope he, that's another thing. Renu Singh, can we make a system for schools? Again, for that you would need people who have knowledge on the school system, how you can integrate school sports into the system. It can be complicated, I guess. So therefore, that's something of a conversation that one needs to have. But I would say it is certainly possible that you could integrate school sports into that a certain school form into the system. I would say yes, certainly. Kumar saying, or not a doubt about Ego's team match. Why? Because someone is deciding team tactics. This is speculation from side. Someone deciding tactics of one nation. Again, Kumar, I know you like to find answers and solutions, but this is again a speculation on which I can't. To me, that's a very important thing. It's a bit of an issue to me, that we're not finding the solutions in what we're doing and doing right. So that's Yeah, that's a very concerning thing to me, that we're not getting the solutions which we need to, you know, which we need in regard to what is happening, what is not happening, and sorry, just got lost here. That is something which is of a bit of a problem, and I hope we can do the right things to rectify these problems. Bing Bong Singh, sir, do you think AIFF lack of funds to hire a new coach or team has something against the AIFF that they aren't sacking? You know, even if no, I don't think financial matters are a reason not to sack a coach. I think these realities, contingencies need to be worked into plans. And sadly, the AIFF doesn't seem to have done in this situation, and that's to me that's a big problem. That's a big problem, and I hope the AIFF rectifies that at some stage, and does take a decision on you know what to do, not to do, because that's, I think, a very important decision by the federation to can you now hear me, guys? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Kumar, for the answer. Sorry, seems to have disconnected somehow. So I was talking on the salaries with creator is, again, yes, that's something they're earning in crores, but that there will be no change. Then I was talking about the Chinese system. I think for us, we have to create an Indian football system. For me, very, very clear. We need to create an own Indian football system, which cannot be compared with anyone, and which we need to create, and which needs to work for us. So for me, that is the most important thing, that we need to find, you know, an Indian model. India needs to see itself. It's a subcontinent. It's so big that we have to find Indian solutions, because something which works, let's say, in a Kolkata doesn't work in a Goa. What works in a Goa doesn't work in a Kerala, doesn't work in the Northeast, does not work in a Punjab, does not work in a Karnataka. So we need to find, at the lower level, local solutions. We need regional solutions, and then we have national solutions. And that's the only way we're gonna be able to move forward. And that to me is the challenge that Indian football has these days. Vikilal says there is pattern. He goes coaching and he keeps making the same mistake and again. I remember under 3 quarters we were in control against UD until he substituted a few players. Well, that's been sadly sort of the case, right, with the coach. Yeah. So that's juniors, seniors, substitution. I thought he should have done some substitutions at halftime because he had three players on yellow cards, three crucial players on yellow cards, and he never does it. He waits till 65, 70th minute. I think yesterday was 68th minute where he did the substitutions. To me, it's late. And he does then suddenly three substitutions, right? Creator says, now I realized why Hero left sponsorship of ISL. Owner of Hero was right about Indian football players. Sadly, yeah. Sadly, Mr. Munjal was right in what he said. Ego Steamer says, Arunava sir, your thoughts on Steamer saying whenever we got 1-1 camp, we played well. No, we didn't play well. We have not played well. We've gotten the results. Yes, that's true. But India has, for a long, long time, has not played well, in my opinion. Again, in my humble opinion, if you ask me, India has not played well in quite a bit of a time. And that is something which Steamer, in some sort of way, will have to take on his side and say, listen, guys, I've not been able to deliver with the team what I wanted to deliver. Let's put it this way, put it nicely. Akash says Indian origin player aana chahiye. For that, the government, needs to make changes. Ritik saying, but there's no structure in Syria and African nation, but still they do better. Yeah, because in the African nations, forget African nations. Let's say even Brazil is comparable to India. Brazil has a system. In Brazil things are working. So therefore, and it works. And in Syria, of course, you have now a lot of influx of origin players, which also helps. Syria, Lebanon, Palestine. Again, Syria's just had the issue with Mo Dahoud, who's left the camp because it wasn't up to his standard. So let's see. He says, see much in November, we tested some players for Asian Cup. After Asian Cup, World Cup was important. Now he says June matches up. He's pushing the goalpost. We've spoken about it multiple times. We'll have to see. Shreya saying, which coach suits Indian team and with tight budget? We'll have to see. I think let's throw it open once. It needs a clear-cut decision, and I think whenever he goes and a new coach potentially could come in, I would open up and see who's going to be coming in. Akash says, eager teamers nahi chalega, AIFF president team ka ko nahi chalega. Again, it's a big of a problem. Let's see what happens. Onimi says, as in US, we need to have a top-notch national level university tournament, maybe a year-long university league, and maybe make it mandatory for national team to scout from them. Yeah, but do I have university players playing in the university league who are good enough to go for the national team? I'm saying that ID players are not good enough to go to national team. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Ref Sports still posting Indian and results can't come. Yeah, that's BS. And I say that after SS lost to Indonesian, Vietnam is sack coach. Yeah, we've spoken about it, Moinak. Or now say if you somehow beat Kuwait in June, which is highly unlikely, will you get extension to 20? That's more concerning. It's a thought in my head. I don't know where we stand on that. Now with 100 crore from FSC are spending correctly, whereas there's no transparency and accountability with money. Where it is going, all the tenders coming in will be decided before the tender. Kumar, first of all, it's not 100 crores which goes to the AIFF, and all the other things that you've mentioned are things that people have written, but nobody has put out proof. So therefore, as I always say, be careful with what you're saying. आकाश says 22 तारीख में सर मैंने रात में मैच देखा था फैन कोड में तो पूरा बेकार हो गया और फिर भी कर लो मैच मेरा माइंड खराब कर दिया. Well, Akash, that's the problem. I think that's the problem of all of us who follow and love Indian football. Let's see what happens. But always keep your mind up. Even I was feeling bad. I was talking long last night with a friend, didn't sleep well because I didn't feel well, and again, better times will come. Vikila says, as a fan, we know reality when if we don't expect our team to perform well against Asian giants, but against Afghanistan, oh come on. Well, Vicky, I think that's the point that I've been saying, when we fooled ourselves last year with Interconti and Tri-Nation and SAF, that we were not as good as we thought we were. I remember Hong Kong, we beat Hong Kong 2-0 to qualify for the Asian Cup in 2022. I was there in Kolkata that day. And I said, and someone, former India captain, was next to me, and we both said, we were lucky. 4-0, good result, but Hong Kong didn't take one of their chances. We took all our chances. Now we're not even getting those chances. Creator saying we need comeback of Ashley Westwood and Stephen Constantine. Yeah, let's see what happens. Sasa asking, are they going to sack him or no? What's your opinion? At the moment, I don't see them sacking him. That's my concern. I think we need to keep the pressure up. So therefore, social media, we need to work on that. Igor is shameless. He will never resign. We need to sack him, but it's government job, so he will never be sacked. Yeah, that's part of the problem. Reality is that Sweden, Finland, third division is better. Yeah. 7th division Norway is better than ISL. So that's the reality. Sir, मैंने को आप शेयर मत बोलिए, मैं आपका छोटा हूँ, इसलिए मैं तो भाई बोल सकता है, मैं वेस्ट बंगाल कलकत्ता से मैं हूँ बोल रहा हूँ. Nice, Akash. Nice, lovely. Always support Indian football. Again, not to you, all of you guys. Those of you who don't follow, do follow the channel. Support and let's spread the community and make it bigger, and let's have these conversations more and more with others. Mainak saying, I feel this coach is shameless. Am I right? Yeah, he is. He is. It sums it very well up. Not sacking Steamach after yesterday's performance, the failure of AIFF and all stakeholders are shame on them. Yeah. Igor, Steamach, you're very right. आप कितने साल से फुटबॉल कर रहे हो? I've been born again to Indian parents here in Germany. Started as a 2-year-old to support football, play football, and I started about 92 was when I started following the Indian national team. So yeah, I've been following Indian football for over 3 decades. LM7, every country bringing PI, OCI player, is a sports ministry blind or something? Yeah, the government doesn't want to change it. So that's the reality. Kalyan Chaudhuri needs to step down. Fair elections need to conduct. Indian government SC should step in to clean up AIFF mess. So yes, just to give you a reality check, the courts are the reason why Kalyan Chaudhuri is there. The chaos has been brought in by the courts. So those who you're banking on are most probably not those who are going to bring you the results that you want. Just a food for thought. Steamach and post-match, we are playing decent progressive football. We are second in group, and that is our aim. Again, I saw the press conference. It's just ridiculous. Arunava, I'm interested in how government people works, how the money spent, how much is quoted on paper, but on the ground, different from the ground. This guarantee I can give. Well, congratulations. If you do that. 2019, 2020, not zero, but negative displacement. Yeah, Creator. Yeah. Yeah. Ritik, more than 3. That's the thing. Believe me, I'm not going the hype of U20. They're are in no way much better than our senior. We're thinking there will be a sudden change in quality. Same goes for either see all India squad. Arnab, exactly. Perfectly said. Very well said. My feeling. Don't get carried away. I can remove all senior players. You bring the younger players in. Most probably will be worse. That is the reality. We have not created talents of the last 10, 15 years. Otherwise, Sunil Chhetri wouldn't be playing. I remember in Germany when the 40-year-old Lothar Matthäus was playing the 2,000 euros, the discussion started, how is a 40-year-old playing for us? And they radically changed everything from that year onwards. And 14 years later, Germany was world champions, won the World Cup in Brazil, beat Brazil 7-1 on their home soil. So these are the things, guys. These are the things that I see as being important and what needs to happen. I'll take a few more because in another 10 minutes, we start our usual live with Hiren from Curious Harry and Rahul from Sports Khabri. What would be your choice of coach, Indian coach if you see much? I don't have a choice. I think we need someone experienced, understanding, good coach. I would like someone like a Carlos Queiroz who's practical in his approach. The Qataris weren't happy with him because he was playing too practical. But that would be someone, not available, but someone like Hervé Renard would be someone I would love to come. I said that, 11 years ago when he was Zambia coach, but again, let's see. इससे हमारा football match को exactly, but again, if you that's the part of the problem. Sadly, that seems to be, we never know. What's the reason not changing coach? I'm damn sure we can beat Kuwait with a good coach with the same unit of players. It seems they don't want to play with him anymore. Part of the problem, why they don't want to change it, that you have to ask the AIFF. That's part of the problem. Is it true that Afghan players trained without floodlights and there were mosquitoes all around? Is this how we treat our guests? Yep, the floodlights were turned off at some stage. And with the mosquitoes, again, it's wet, damp. You can't change it. You're outdoors, right? So quickly take, cricket. India should focus more on us. And the 17, we don't deserve 1.2 matches, agree. Do I have any other channel? No, I don't have. So follow me, arunfoot. It's going to start in 9 minutes at 9 o'clock. We're doing another live then with the group discussion. So therefore, as always, my request, guys, do like, share, and subscribe. We chose Steamach over Roka and Ashley. India mein big name personage chahiye hota hai sabko. But again, Steamach was brought in for other reasons. So let's see. Under 17 chance every year. And again, I just want to take a few minutes of a break. Again, this was a 1 hour, 20-minute session, nearly a football game, guys. So at 9 o'clock, come back to the channel. We're going to have our discussion tonight with Rahul of Sports Company and Hiren. As always, but I wanted to have an interactive session before that. Thanks a lot. As always, do like these videos, share these videos, and please subscribe to the channel. Help me to get to 1K. And then grow even further. And thanks a lot. And I'll be speaking to you in a few minutes. Thanks a lot. Bye for now, guys.